Turn your head away from Hollywood and the entertainment industry. Turn your head away from social media and the distractions you see on those platforms. Turn your head away and dismiss the measly and silly-minded war between the two genders in your country. Close your ears to the nonsense being poured into your ears by the media to skyrocket their ratings and engagement. Stop envying celebrities and those who have fame, as many of them are lost, stupid, easily swayed, and self-seeking. Stop expecting your government to have your best interest and believing that they will always pull through for you in the end. Despite being a humanitarian, I do not have the power to protect you all, as you all are spread across this world. Listen to the message in this video, so that all may be well with you. So that all of what you see up ahead won't catch you off guard, as you'll be well aware of what it is you need to do, what it is that has come upon you. Let's begin. I told you all that I am a teacher of the dark kingdom and of the satanic kingdom. You cannot stand in confidence and call me a liar, as you know I've never attempted to hide these things from you. Satan has intentions of expanding his kingdom, and because of these intentions, I have decided to turn my attention to what lies up for three different groups: the kingdom of darkness, the kingdom of God, and mankind. I have refused to turn my full attention towards mankind, as most of them don't even know who they are or whose they are, which gives Satan a great advantage over the human mind and body. Not to mention, mankind is blinded by concepts they believe and participate in. Stubbornness is stored in their hearts, and self-made perceptions cloud their judgment, takes over their mind. America is a country that is a superpower, a great country. All nations have internal and external problems and issues that need fixing. America is also still considered to be both the envy of the world and the land full of endless opportunities. This is why many humans from other nations wish to immigrate here to America and build successful lives for themselves and their families. Hearing an American desiring and eventually moving to another nation is very seldom. Speaking of which, I have seldom discussed the inevitable New World Order here on this channel. While many people have discussed this topic already, you all need to understand that no empire lasts forever. Those of you who truly believe America will be an everlasting empire are fools. Name me one everlasting earthly empire. You cannot. There are many advantages Satan possesses because of his nature and the power which he was formed by and possesses. The main thing is his supernatural foresight. He is a being that has seen it all time and time again. Many of mankind have trouble planning for tasks that need to be completed within a week. This is not a flaw or shortcoming that Satan or the demonic possesses. The reason why I say America must fall first is simply that America is always getting in the way of international issues and conflicts. I'm aware of what might have happened if this country didn't step in during certain conflicts, but that doesn't matter. The fact is, America is not only the police of the world, but also the puppet master of the world as well, or at least in some sorts, in some ways. America has one of the most powerful militaries. They also have immense experience in modern warfare. They have the most military bases in the world. They also are still considered to be a very wealthy country, despite the ever-growing debt this country has incurred. This country is still largely considered to be the envy of the world, but that envy will soon turn to shock, mocking, and mourning down the road. You see, America can be compared to the ancient civilization called Babylon. Babylon was a great and mighty nation. This nation was beautiful and it was very prosperous. Babylon had a mighty military and was very advanced in many things. Babylon was not only feared but well respected and envied by the many nations that surrounded them. That nation called Babylon, although mighty, was soon brought down to the ground, trampled upon, and taken over by Cyrus the Great and the Medes and Persians. You see, Babylon had fallen for that same pride that every great nation has now. I'm sure, just like many other mighty nations, believed that they would never fall or be overcome. Yet Babylon was overcome. Just like how the Medes and Persian Empire were then overcome by one of the greatest men in history, Alexander the Great, along with his Macedonian and Greek army. So then, for a time, it was the Macedonian Greece Empire that became the mightiest nation in the world. That is, until the great Macedonian king Alexander the Great died in Babylon of June 323 BC. After his death, infighting occurred and four of his generals split his kingdom into fourths. This, along with many other events that I've chosen to not highlight, all led up to the rise of the Roman Empire. As you all should know, the Roman Empire didn't fall or become conquered by invasion by a single foreign nation. They fell due to multiple different reasons: invading barbarian tribes, over-reliance on slave labor and economic failure, the rise of the Eastern Empire, over-expansion and over-military spending, government corruption, the arrival of the Huns, the rise of Christianity, and the hiring of mercenaries. I'm not even touching on the gods these Roman people worship, as I've already debunked one of their most popular gods, which is the false god Saturn. Behind this false god reveals the identity and reality of Satan. If you haven't watched my video on the Roman god Saturn, I suggest you do that now. So we know that Rome became weakened and then fell into shambles in various ways. Meanwhile, the Catholic Church was consistently and continually growing in power. I see why many of the heathens on earth despise Christianity. Not only do many of them conflate both Protestants and Catholics, but since it is the Catholics who have the most power in the Christian belief, this also gives the Catholic Church immense power and wealth. This power and wealth have certainly been abused by the Church. And since mankind has unrealistic expectations of human partakers in religious beliefs to be perfect, any wrongdoing by these believers is met with hatred and contempt by the lack of self-controlled, unbelieving, undiscerning heathen. Now here we are many centuries later after the fall of Rome, living in a world where we have many more different countries and new global issues mankind is being faced with. But there is one who has been looking afar off. There is one who has been plotting and planning behind the scenes the entire time. You fools have mustered up so much hatred inside of you and have allowed so much filthy, unwholesome talk to pour out of your nasty mouths towards the one who sits in the third heaven above the clouds you all use as a joke when slandering him, God. That you idiots have failed to turn your heads towards the fire. You yourselves have failed to turn your head towards hell. You who love evil have denied who it is your soul truly loves and identifies with. Did I not tell you all that Satan is calling for unity, while God calls for division? Yet you sheep have decided to separate yourselves from Satan, while simultaneously refusing to walk towards the one who has the living water and is ready to give it to you, so that you may never thirst again. I'm grateful not to lack sense, not to be one who cannot truly see. I like to be on the winning side. And who I strive to win isn't anyone who is of mankind. Those that win are in power, and those that lose have to accept to be reigned over by those who have won. I would rather be reigned over by those I choose, rather than those I despise. When a battle is over, the kingdom is to expand beyond any previous measure. And this will be all thanks to the many fools of mankind who have focused all their energy and time on this temporary earth and put next to zero focus on the next one, next to zero focus on the two kingdoms who are already at war. For years, decades, and even for at least a century, many of mankind, both in America and abroad, have speculated how America will fall. Many believe America is to fall one way or by a sequence of catastrophic events. Here is a quote from the Pentagon talking about the capability of the Department of Defense. That should be very concerning to every self-proclaimed patriot in this country. You see, many of you people in America are nationalists, and that's fine. I am already aware of what it is globalists wish and desire to accomplish. I would also have to be the bearer of bad news and tell you what it is they seek, they will have. All of what they desire will come to fruition, but it will not be exactly what they think it'll be. You see, folks, mankind believes that they can know and uncover everything. Their pride in the increase of knowledge will not allow them to take a step back and focus on the reality of what it is that is currently going on in the world. I told you all that there is no massive worldwide improvement going on in the world, and yet that not many, if anybody, is asking why. That's okay though, because mankind will begin to start asking why when they realize that all of their craftiness, plotting, and hidden agendas and efforts fall straight to the ground. These people, these men and women you all see in the world, not the everyday ones, but the powerful ones. When I say power, I'm not talking about your measly everyday Hollywood actor or artist who donates spare change to their favorite charitable foundation. I'm talking about those of mankind who are at the very top of this global hierarchy, or near the top. Do not allow these types of men and women to cause you all to live in fear. They are themselves fools. All of what they promise each other behind closed doors and even to the public when addressing the masses will turn into ashes inside of their mouth when they realize they were nothing but pawns in a game. These fools have deceived themselves into thinking that they sit above the game, that they sit above the world, that their word is supreme, and are in no need of any counsel from anyone else of mankind. All who live on earth will endure and go through the soon coming judgment that is to come upon the world. I am not exempt from it, and neither are you or those others as well. I am anticipating the fall of America, along with other systems that are in connection to this country as well. My anticipation for this tragedy to come to pass isn't rooted in glee or pride. I told you all I do not preach or teach for the enjoyment of myself or mankind. I do it for the one who sent me, the one who called me. The reason why I am anticipating the fall of this great nation is that I know that when it does happen, America will never rise again. I understand that all of this is simply speculation and extreme possibilities in your eyes, but I'll continue. You see, people, when America falls, their allies will soon fall with them, or better yet, I should say their allies will not be able to aid them in that great time of trouble this nation will face. It will be a joy in some minds that have a hatred for this country, but for the majority of those in this global community, it will be a sad event. The fall of this great nation will finally open the door to the long-awaited New World Order. My people, I understand that some of you will accuse me as a Satan-possessed madman for saying these things, but to be honest, that's actually fine with me. I assure you all that madness hasn't infested my mind, but I will admit that I am fixated on certain things. Some of these fixations are things here in the present, many of them lay ahead in the future. Saying I'm a man of great foresight is an understatement. Now, let's get into the ways America may fall. There are many different ways. I will only be going over 10 of these ways. Let me begin. The first is weapons of mass destruction. Nuclear missiles and hypersonic missiles may bypass all American anti-defense mechanisms and wreak devastating havoc on the American mainland. Number two is electromagnetic pulse attack. This type of attack will cause all forms of a country's electrical network and infrastructure to go out of service. This type of attack can cause all kinds of trouble. Number three is civil war. America is a country of great disparities and division. All it would take for a second civil war in this country to break out would be for one group to become completely sick and tired of feeling oppressed and or responsible for the actions of another. With social media platforms available for mankind to stoke the fire on every social and political issue in this country, this is something that is more than likely to happen. Number four is economic failure. How many times has America come close to a second Great Depression? Could America face something even worse than what that was? America has exceeded its debt limit back in January 2023, and now you have politicians calling for the removal of the debt ceiling. What will happen when the U.S. completely fails? What will happen if all the financial services fail? What's going to happen when these systems in place can no longer give bailouts to these institutions? Number five, famine and water crisis. This type of downfall can be closely associated with and even parallels the previous type of attack. However, This in itself is still something that will cause America to crumble from the inside out. If humans in this country commit the most violent acts for the smallest things, imagine what your neighbor will do to you when they run out of clean water and food and they see that you still have some. Number 6, government uprising. America received a small taste of this on January 6, 2021. On this day, supporters of the 45th president stormed the U.S. Capitol in support of desiring to overturn what was perceived to be a stolen election. Maybe one day something like this will happen again. And maybe on that day, a price will be paid by the cost of someone's life, not someone being arrested or being spared from death. Although people did die that day. I believe it was one. Number 7, cyber warfare. Cyber warfare can be closely associated with the electromagnetic pulse attack I told you all about in number 2. But cyber warfare is arguably more dangerous than nuclear warfare. The United States has had some success defending against this type of attack, but they still fall short of what other countries can perform. Russia, China, and North Korea have all demonstrated that America can easily be harassed and even harmed by using this type of attack. Number 8. A widespread, uncontrolled, nationwide epidemic. The coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, as 2019 was the year it was first discovered, was the worst pandemic of the 21st century. America's response to the virus was poor and completely disappointing. If another outbreak were to happen like that again in America, also affecting and killing important people who help keep this country running, this could lead to a fall of this nation and an opportunity for enemies to exploit all vulnerabilities. Number 9, foreign invasion. An enemy country can simply choose to engage in conventional warfare and take over America by air, land, and sea. While this wouldn't be so easy to do, anything is possible. And finally, number 10, natural or man-made disasters. This can be a wide variety of things. An explosion of the volcano in Yellowstone National Park, widespread bacterial infection due to alleged purposeful food contamination, which ties into the food crisis. Clandestine intelligence operations carried out by an enemy nation could cause vital pieces of infrastructure in America to become destroyed. I'm sure you all get the point here. Don't be a fool. Keep your eyes open and always pay close attention to what is going on around you. People, listen closely. When your government, news networks, social media platforms, and whoever else tells you all to look right, look left. When they say you all need to look left, turn your attention to what can be found hiding on the right. I am unable to give you an accurate timeline of the fall of the New Age Babylon, otherwise known as America. What I can say is, though, that although this country foolishly reassures itself that all is well and that it'll always recover from tragedy, it won't. Lines are being drawn in the sand, people. Some of you have chosen your side already. I can assure you that I have already chosen mine. For those of you who have chosen to remain in La La Land and believe the United Nations and your government will always solve and repair what needs to be solved and repaired in this world, or for the problems in your country, you're a silly-minded fool.